and welcome to today's movement practice. We're going to spend some time with our incredible feet today. So please be on your feet and bring your feet a little bit wider than your own hips. And if that's okay, close the eyes or keep the eyes open if you prefer. Connect with your space around your belly button area, or if today that doesn't feel like your center, then connect with that center that you feel in your body today. And from there, descend down into the bones, through the bones of the pelvis, and down into the bones of the leg. So the thigh bones, also known as femur bones. Then you travel down through the knees, down into the shin bones, until you meet the ground with your awareness. And once you have found the ground through the skin of your feet, let the awareness just like trickle like rivers through the skin that meets the ground. And maybe just kind of like lean the body into different areas of your feet to really create a clear image of you standing on the ground through the nerve endings in your feet. Feel the pinky side of one foot and then the pinky side of the other foot. Feel the big toe and the big toe side of one foot and then the other foot. The back of the foot, so the heel area. The arch, which in some people is lifted from the ground and in some people is closer to the ground. And the ball of the foot area. Cultivate curiosity in how it feels like to be connected with the ground, with the feet. And keep your awareness into the right foot and into the right leg and also into the right hip up towards the right side of the ribs. Open the eyes in case they were closed. And lift slowly the right heel a little, and as you lift it, imagine that underneath the heel there is something that doesn't want you to lift. So it's like something a little bit like something a bit like sludge, or something that's got that kind of sticky consistency that it's hard to stretch. Okay, so whatever that is, lift the heel with the resistance of that something that you are imagining. Keep the heel lifted and bend the knee and kind of like lean a little bit forwards with the knee so that you can load the joints of the toes a little. And that little is to your point of reference little, because I don't know how your little is. You know what your little is. Unload, and as you release the heel down towards the ground, reach it also back. Imagine that the foot is going a little bit longer, and then imagine that there is something underneath the foot that doesn't want you to descend. So again, we're working with the idea of creating resistance to move. When you're ready to, float the heel up and float it up more from the top of the pelvis, from the right side of the ribs. So you really like pull up, 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 up slowly. And then you lean into the space in front of you a little bit with the knee to again load the joints of the toes. And then you unload and you reach the heel back, back and down. And the left knee can absolutely bend and extend to allow you to move the right leg. One more time, float it up, float it up, float it up. Bend the right knee and leaning forwards. Load the joints of the toes. And this time you're going to stay here and just kind of like lean and kind of lean a little bit more forwards and then backwards. And as you lean forwards and backwards, use your left foot. So when you lean forwards, the left toes are gripping the ground inwards and upwards. And when you lean backwards, you use the heel to push down and to kind of move the ground forwards in front of you. And then you use the toes to lean forwards and you use the heel to lean backwards. So really cultivating a relationship with the ground to move the bones into space. So keep the heel lifted, keep the knee bent, and from the top of the thigh, rotate the leg so that the knee travels outwards and the heel pointed inwards. So that's an external rotation and also abduction of the leg from your long midline. Use the left foot to lean again into the joints of your right toes a little bit. So kind of leaning over to the right a bit. And then with your left foot, pull upwards and push downwards as well to bring the body back to center. And then you go in again. And you want to have that kind of a little bit of like waving, like a flag sort of waving into gentle breeze. Definitely not the storm that there is outside at the moment, which you might hear, maybe. And next time you find yourself back to center, rotate that knee inwards. Inwards, inward, inwards. So the knee, the right knee, points towards the inner seam of the left leg. And reach the right heel down and back. Rather than back, it's more down and over to the right side. And then with the pinky side of your left foot, move the ground towards the left, bend your right knee and stick your bum out over to your right side. Stick it out, stick it out, stick it out. And then use your feet, so push down. Let your arms like be floppy and dangling from your shoulders. Push down into the ground with your feet to float the spine a little bit up as you round it. So curl your chin a little bit towards the chest and then move your chin away from your chest. Expand the collarbones in your chest and stick your bum out over to the right again. Again, push down with the feet and pull inwards. So that wakes up outer seams and inner seams of the legs. And then curl up a little bit, float up. And then curl your chest away from the pelvis. So the chest reaches over to the left and the pelvis over to the right. So two directions of energy. And then press down, pull in to slowly come up, come up, come up, come up, come up, come up. Lean into the pinky side of your left foot a little bit and lift the right heel again. Pull up. Rotate the knee to point forwards. Keep the heel lifted, and this time as you lean into your left foot, you float the right toes up just a little. So you balance on your left foot for a moment. And then do the ballerina foot with your right foot. and just rotate the ankle a few times, one way, slowly, slowly. Imagine that the space around that right ankle is the consistency of peanut butter or honey if peanut butter is too dense. And then do the ballerina foot, so the toes are pointing down, and connect the nails of your right toes with the ground. Okay, and then bend in both knees and lean down towards the ground with your bum, like you're sitting on a chair. And push the nails in your right toes a little bit down into the ground. And when if you're ready to push down with your left heel to come out and up. And if once was enough, do it once. If you can't do it twice, do it twice. Because that area of the foot can be quite sensitive and unpleasant. So unless you do this kind of movement regularly, the front of the foot can be pretty sticky. Okay, and then lift the foot again, bend the knee a little bit more, and move the foot a little bit into the space behind you, so then it's more of the top of the foot connecting with the ground, close to the toes, so not towards the neck of the foot. And then again, bend the knees and kind of like you're trying to bring the pelvis down towards the ground, which maybe one day you'll do. Push down into your left heel and slowly go up, go up, go up, go up. And then again, one more time, unless you don't want to do it more than once. Push down and lift up. Lift the foot again and step it a little bit more into the space behind you. And then again, descend. So now it's a little bit more towards the neck of the foot. Top of the foot, neck of the foot, ankle. Bend, 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 and descend. Maybe you go all the way down and you touch the ground with your right knee. If that's the case, then you have more areas of your body in connection with the ground, so you can use the ground more. So you push down into your left heel, into the front of your right foot, and into the right shin to give you the power to float everything up again. If you want, one more time. Go where it's okay to go, where it still feels safe to go. And what I mean by that, see how you come out from what you're exploring, because if the coming out is like, ugh, the nervous system is going to respond to that, actually react more than respond. But if the coming out is as slow and gradual and relaxed as the traveling inwards, then the nervous system stays like soft and kind of like soft marshmallow. You know, it doesn't have that reaction to it. Okay, so next time you find yourself back up, step that right foot back on the ground and just be with the sensations in that right foot for a little. Does it feel different, the relationship that you have between the foot and the ground? And you can write all these questions down and stop the video and write down your answers. Is the space inside of that right leg, around the bones, and even inside of the bones, does it feel different from where you were exploring the legs earlier? Gonna explore the left side, so when you're ready to, step your feet a little bit wider than your hips again. Feel the ground. Let the ground hold you up. Let the ground take a little bit of the work that you're doing, because we don't have to do all this stuff all alone and just like, you know, lots of effort, lots of like, for what? So, float the heel up into your left side. lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. Again, create resistance by imagining something that can give you that idea of resistance. And then lean into the space in front of you a bit with the left knee, so that you can load the joints of your left foot a bit. Release and reach the heel back into the space behind you and down. So let the foot grow a little longer. And then lift up again, pull up from the top of the thigh and even from the ribs. Bend the knee and leaning forwards. And maybe load a little bit more. And then press down into the ball of the foot. Lift, reach back and release down. Lift up again. Lean forwards, and this time you're gonna stay and just lean forwards a little bit and backwards, and you want to use your feet to create that movement, so that right foot is gripping the ground when the intention is to move forwards, and is pressing down and moving the ground forwards when the intention is to go backwards. Repetition is really good to create clarity and to strengthen certain pathways, whichever they are. Okay, so keeping the heel lifted in your left foot, begin to spiral the leg outwards, keeping the belly facing forwards a bit. There might be a little bit of rotation over to the left. Just try to minimize that rotation of the belly so there is more movement in the thigh bone. And then again, lean over to the left so that you can load the joints of your left toes a bit, and with the pinky side of your right foot, press down and move the ground over to your right side. And then pull with your left foot and push with your right foot so that you can recenter. And then if you want, you explore the same loading again. When you return to center, that left leg spirals through the center, and eventually the knee points inwards so that there is an internal spiraling. Release the heel downwards and towards the left. Bend your right leg, and then as you hinge at the pelvis a little bit and the upper body reaches over to the right and down, your bum is sticking out over to the left. You can take both of your hands to rest on your right thigh if you want. If you don't want, you can just let them dangle. Okay? Pull your feet towards one another and see what wakes up in the body. If you feel any pain into the knees, come out. You might need to change the position of your feet. You might need to bend the knee less or more, or maybe this exploration just isn't for the body that you inhabit, which is fine. And then with your feet, imagine you're stretching the ground in between them. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then keep the stretch and also pull inwards and upwards. And then begin to explore movement through the pelvis, from the pelvis into the spine and into the neck. So the bum is sticking over to your left and your head reaches over to the right a bit. And then you use your feet and especially the heels to push down to expand the space between the shoulder blades in your upper back and into middle back to just lift a little bit out of that forwards fold. And then again, spine is waving, chest is reaching over to the right, bum over to the left. And then feet press down, spine is rounding in so that the back of the body is expanding. And then again, chest is broadening. The belly button is moving away from the breastbone. So there is an expansion of the front of the body. And then again, the breastbone and the belly button, they curl inwards towards one another, and the shoulder blades are sliding away from the spine. So there is an expansion of the back of the body. And from there, come all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Lift the left heel again and turn the knee pointing forwards. Lean into your right foot, maybe bend your right knee a bit and lift your left foot. Flex the knee, flex the hip a little bit. You can wobble, embrace the wobble if you're wobbling. And then begin to rotate that left ankle a bit to one side. Again, moving the bones, the bones in that ankle in a way that it finds resistance with the space around it. Change direction and point the toes down, ballerina style, and then bring the nails to the ground. Have your foot in a place on the ground where you can descend, lean down a little bit. And if you're expecting to have the same experience as the other side, that expectation is probably gonna be proven useless, because the two sides of the body can be different in many ways and in many levels. Then push down into the ground with the right heel to come up. And then if you want, one more time, maybe twice. Push down to come up. Lift the foot. Move it a little bit into the space behind you. So there is like a lengthening, a broadening at the front of the abdomen on the left side. And place the top of the foot a little bit more on the ground. Not the neck of the foot just yet. Just quite close to the nails. So you can look at my foot, which area of my foot is on the ground. Random guidance. And then bend into both of the knees and descend. Explore the front of the foot. And then push down into the right heel to come up. And then again, descend. You can let your bum stick out if that's happening. And then press down to come up. Lift the foot again. Move it into the space behind you so there is a little bit more extension of the pelvis. And now try to bring the foot, the top of the foot, towards the neck of the foot, closer to the ground. Bend into the knee, both of them, and begin to descend. And then when you stop descending, push down into your right foot to come up. And then again, if you want. And then again, if you move all the way down to the ground and you find the ground with the left knee and the left shin, then you've got more ground available to use to push down, woo, to come up. And then bring that foot on the ground and notice. So how is the relationship with the ground now with that foot? How do you experience the space inside of the leg? Inside of the hip? Step your feet a little bit wider than your own hips again when you're ready. Stand a little bit more onto your right foot. Onto your left foot. and lift the right heel again. Up, 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 up. Load the joints of the right toes. And then unload them, lean a little bit more into your left heel and lift the right toes from the ground. Hug the knee inwards towards the body, preferably without using your hands. Activate the foot as if you were standing on it, the right one, and squeeze the calf into the back of your right thigh, as if you were holding like a pen or a piece of paper and you don't want to let either of them fall to the ground. So when you're ready to, point that right knee over to the right and point the belly a little bit over to the left, and use the foot on the ground to create space into the inner landscape. Then rotate the femur bone in a way that the knee points forwards and the foot points backwards. And if you can, or if you want, connect your right hand with your right heel. Push the two into one another, and then with your right heel, reach into the space behind you. So you push into the hand, and the hand goes, no, I'm not letting you travel back. I'm not letting you travel back. Then bring the inner seam of your right leg towards the inner seam of the left leg, and bring the leg into the space in front of you again. One more time. To the side, pointing forwards. You can bring the hand and the foot to connect, otherwise just keep the hand somewhere else. Reach the right heel into the space behind you, and as you do that, bend into your left leg, stick your bum out, lean into your left heel, and reach your right heel into the space behind you. Reach it so much that eventually your right leg is going to extend. And then with the pinky side of your right foot, travel a little bit upwards. And lean into the pinky side of your left foot for stability. Bend the right knee again and bring it towards the right armpit. Round your lower back, round your middle back, round your upper back. Bring your arms into the space in front of you without touching the right shin. Squeeze the leg inwards and then bend your left knee a little bit more, so you move down towards the ground a little bit with your bum. Cut your chin in and then step your right foot next to your left foot. Lean into your heels, and as the crown of the head reaches towards the ground, your bum reaches up towards the ceiling. So you end up into a forward fold. And then if you want, you can just dangle side to side a little bit. Feel the space inside of the mouth, just like expanding down towards the pelvis. Bend the knees, lean into your heels, press the heels down into the ground and begin to roll up through the spine with your arms dangling from the shoulders and your head also dangling from the neck. Until you find yourself back into your standing, and if you didn't put the hair into like a ponytail, then you stand up and the hair is just all messy. Okay, so other side. Become aware of your left foot into the ground. Lean into it. Into your right foot. Lean into your right foot. And float the left heel up. Then lift the toes and bend the knee. Bend the knee and also the hip. As the knee points outwards over to the left, the belly rotates a little bit over to the right so that it stays facing forwards. The knee, the left knee, at some point will point forwards and the foot backwards. And then if you want, left hand rather, and left foot connect, but not necessary. If they are connected, push the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. And then with the foot traveling to the space behind you a bit, and the hand goes, no. Lift the belly button up towards the crown of the head, and then bring the inner seam of the left leg towards the inner seam of the right leg. Let go of the foot and bring the leg into the space in front of you again. Move the knee out to the side. Point it forwards. Hand and foot connect or not, up to you. Then the foot travels backwards. And as it travels backwards, the left knee begins to bend. The right knee begins to bend. And the left heel travels into the space behind you until the leg extends. Bend the right knee so the pelvis moves down towards the ground, and with the pinky side of your left foot reach into the space above the leg. Chest reaches forwards, collarbones widen, and then from there bend that left knee again and bring the knee back forwards towards the left armpit and then eventually towards the chest. And with those movements, let your lower back round, the middle back and the upper back round. Bend your right knee even more as if you were about to sit onto the ground. Stick your bum out a little bit and then step your left foot over to the left and fold forwards. Dangle side to side a bit if you want. And when you feel ready to, bend the knees generously, stick your bum out, and reach your arms into the space in front of you, and then push down into your feet enough so that you find a chair position. And with your arms reach into the space in front of you and with your bum into the space behind you, caress the ground with your fingers if that's okay, and then reach your arms back and a little bit up and release your head down. And then arms reach down again and forwards. Lean into your heels, push down into your heels and flow the arms up. And find that chair position. And then again, travel forwards with your arms, backwards with your bum. Release the head and hands to the ground, brush the ground. Travel backwards and a little bit up. And then down again. Up and forwards again. Arms up. Up any level of up. And then lift the heels both at the same time or one at a time and curl up onto the balls of the feet and the tip of the toes and push down into the ground with those areas. Release the heels back and down. Fold forwards again, bum up, head down. Release the arm bones, release the head, release the neck. And when you're ready to, use the ground with your feet to slowly roll upwards to find yourself back up into a standing position. If you have a tennis ball, at this point, or even before the practice, it's quite nice to just roll the foot on it. If you don't have a tennis ball, don't worry about it. roll around, just explore different areas of your feet on the tennis ball, and that releases tension into the tissues and it creates a nice amount of space in the leg. Thank you very much for being here today. Have a lovely rest of your day, wherever you are into your day, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.